If you could stop killing and make the money you make from killing, would you stop it?
Probably. If I was making enough money, yeah, why not? I'm getting tired. I'm no kid no more.
Good evening. I'm David Susskind. Several years ago, we had a guest on this show who was a killer for the Mafia. His name was Joey. He confessed to having killed 38 men. There have been so many requests to repeat that interview that we've decided to do it. So here it is, a conversation with Joey, a killer for the Mafia, and we'll begin after this pause. My guest is a man named Joey. He, by his own admission, has murdered 38 people. He was a paid killer, a hitman for the Mafia. Joey is the author of the recently published book, Killer, in which he describes his career and the world of organized crime. You've killed 38 people.
Yes, sir.
When did you first kill somebody? How old were you?
I was 16 the first time I hit somebody in the head.
How did that come to pass?
I was working numbers as a kid, and I was a big, tough kid, and I became a controller very shortly. And one day, a guy come to me, said, I got a job for you. I said, what is it? He said, I want you to hit somebody in the head. I looked at him. I said, when do you want to know? He says, by tonight. I said, all right, see me tonight. So I thought it over. You know, if I turn this guy down, all my life I'll be scuffling. I'll be looking to hustle or make a dollar somehow or other, you know. If I take the job, I'm somebody, if I do it right. So I decided to take it. And in them days, I was paid what I considered a fortune. And after I did the job, guys who used to see me, you know, and just sort of fluff me off, you know, like that's just another kid walking around, suddenly were, hi kid, how are you? You know, things like that. All of a sudden, I had new friends I didn't even know I had.
How much were you paid to kill him?
$5,000.
At 60.
That's correct.
How did you kill him?
I walked up behind him and I shot him in the back of the head.
Why did you kill him?
Because I was paid.
Do you know what he did?
I didn't ask. It was none of my business.
Who hired you? Not the name of the man. I mean, was it an organization?
It was part of an organization, yes.
Did they tell you why he was going to
No.
you die? You didn't ask?
No. It was none of my business. You ain't supposed to ask. They offer you a job, you take the job, you do it. You don't take the job, you don't do it. It ain't your business to know, unless it happens to be somebody where, as you go by, you get a reputation. What does, and they're gonna knock somebody down, and somebody you happen to know, you know, they'll tell you you know him, and they'll give you the option. Well, if by the description of what they tell you, you figure you know the person, you say, well, I ain't too interested.
How did you feel when you killed somebody?
Oh, the first
very
time?
first time.
I don't know. I guess I was a little shook. But after that, it didn't bother me.
Did your conscience hurt?
No.
Could you sleep?
Yeah. I didn't sleep too good the first night. I tossed and turned for a while, make sure that I got rid of the gun and everything. I made sure everything, I went over everything in my mind, you know, make sure I did it all right. And then after that, and then I was pretty sure that the next day when no coppers came looking for me, everything was all right.
Did you ever wonder about that person? They had a wife or children? Or
I don't worry about any of them. The same as if somebody comes after me, he ain't going to worry about me.
What was your background, Joe? Were you an orphan?
I was in an orphanage as a kid.
When did you lose your mother and father?
Well, they died when I was pretty young.
You went to a lot of orphanages.
Well, I went to a lot of foster homes. And then we finally got back together again when my old man came out of the can.
Your father was a criminal.
Well, you call him a criminal to me, he was my old man.
What did he do? Why did they put him in jail?
He killed 3 guys. He had a numbers bank up in the North Bronx. And Dutch Schultz sent some guys up there one day to declare himself in as a partner. My old man put him to sleep.
And he was tried and found guilty?
Yeah, he was convicted of manslaughter.
Could there have been any family legacy of killing? In other words, your father did it, so why not?
No. No. My old man was the type of guy when he had it, we had it. Didn't have it, they didn't have it. You know, it's just one of those things. He did the best he could with what he had. He tried. That's all I can ask him for.
The other men you've killed, you've done that on contract from the mob?
I've done exactly 35 on contract and 3 for revenge.
3 for revenge.
That's correct.
Tell us about the 3 for revenge.
Well, I got married in 1958.
How old were you?
I was 26. And I married a girl who, I don't know, first person I ever met who ever gave me anything without me having to take it. And I was hired to do a job with somebody that had nothing to do with hitting. Well, my payoff was supposed to be $40,000. Only the party thought it would be cheaper to kill me. Only when he went to my house, I was in Reno. I didn't know nothing about it. And he came to my house, and my wife was there. She was pregnant. One of them asked where I was, and my wife said she didn't know, which was true. She didn't. And they kicked her in the stomach, and she hemorrhaged. She was died. Then they caught up to me, and they broke my neck. And I put 15 months in the hospital. But they made one mistake. They didn't break it big enough. When I come out of the hospital, I went hunting. Flathead bullets. What you do is you take a blade and you shave part of the bullet off to make it flat. So when it goes in, it scrambles. And I just kept reloading and kept shooting. And I'll tell you something, I never felt so good in all my life.
3 men.
Those 3.
And all the other killings had no personal motive, no
None
personal
whatsoever.
connection. You never knew any of the men.
I knew some of them, but knowing them didn't make it personal.
How is a murder arranged in the organization?
Well, generally, I get a message that so-and-so would like to meet me or talk to me, and I call up on a certain telephone that I'll have a number for. And I call them, and they say, well, meet me at such and such a restaurant. It might be a restaurant up in East Harlem, it might be a restaurant in Midtown, it might be a restaurant down Little Italy, it might be a restaurant up in the Bronx, it might be a Chinese restaurant. It could be anywhere.
Could it be Miami and Chicago and Detroit?
No, because I'll get my original contract out of the city I'm living in at the moment.
All your work is contracted for in New York?
As a rule, yeah. It could be, I'll be going to another city.
Right. To do the job?
Yeah.
When you show up at the restaurant,
yeah.
Do you come with a mask?
No.
They know who you are?
They know who I am.
Right, okay.
The bosses know who I am. The people I do the work for know who I am. So I'll go in, we'll sit down, and we'll have dinner. First, the general talk, how's your family, how's things going, you making any money, you're earning, things like that, how's so-and-so, fine. And then during the course of the meal, a man will say to you, well, I got a job for you. That's all right, what is it? This is, so-and-so wants such and such done. All right, go ahead, how much? He said, well, what's it worth? So I said, all right, 20,000. Done. Before I leave the restaurant, I'll have my 20,000.
Now, wait a minute. What's the price for murdering a man?
Now, today is 20 G's.
Flat 20?
Flat 20 G's.
No matter who it is?
No. If it's somebody exceptional, it's more. Like when they wanted to hit Joey Gallo, the price was 50 grand. And I turned it down.
Why did you turn it down?
Because I liked Joey Gallo. He was a good friend of mine. He was an honorable kid. I don't care what any of these monkeys got to say.
Okay. They agree on the price, $20,000.
Right.
Is a contract signed?
No, your contract is, when you took the money, your contract is your word. Your word is your bond.
You're paid in advance.
That is correct.
If the man changes his mind and doesn't want that person
I
killed,
keep the money.
you keep the money.
That is correct.
Now, you then go, and it's your responsibility to make sure that man dies.
That is correct.
If you bungle the job, what happens?
I'm dead.
Why? You did your best, presumably.
That's not my best.
Have you ever bungled a job?
No,
All 38 men?
they went. They were dead before they ever hit the ground.
Now, the $20,000 is cash.
Always. No, I'm going to take a check, right?
No, I don't think you'd take a check. And I would suspect the check better be good if you took it. You're then told what about the victim?
I am told
Who he is,
who he is, where I can find him, where he lives. I'm given as much information about him as is possible. Then it's up to me to pick my time and place. I may stay on him for 2, 3 weeks. Sometimes I can get him in 2, 3 days. It doesn't. I don't know. But I always check it out myself.
Right. You're not told by the man who employs you why this is being done, and you never ask.
It's none of my business. I mean, if it's somebody I know, I may ask him. If he wants to, he'll tell me. Like in a couple of cases, I hit guys, and I knew why they were going.
Do you know why most of the 35 men that you killed professionally, do you know why they died?
Yeah.
Why?
They were either stool pigeons, they were stealing from the boss, or they got too ambitious.
Those are the 3 crimes for
That's
which
it,
death
pal.
must be paid.
Right there.
Stealing from the boss, stool pigeon,
Right.
or too big for your britches.
That's right. Unless you're big enough to back it up, don't do it.
I have to pause. We'll be back in a minute. You've got the contract. You've accepted the $20,000. Now what do you do?
Now I take all the information that's been given to me and I read it. And then I start to check it out. I start to check out the person. If I'm told that he leaves his house at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm there at 6:15. If I'm told that he's got a girlfriend, I go and I find out if this is where the girlfriend lives. And I check to find out. And I may wait around there a day or two to see if he shows up. I may follow the guy for a week. He ain't gonna know I'm there. Got no way to know, because I'm not gonna be on him constantly. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick different places where I know he should be. See, generally if he's got a girlfriend, he's either gonna go see her between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, or he's gonna go see her later at night. Because 2 and 4 in the afternoon, his wife doesn't know what he's doing, or he's gonna go later at night, he tells her he's out playing cards, or whatever he's doing. Those are the 2 times they always go. So your best shot to go pick a guy off generally is wherever his girlfriend is, or if he's gonna go to a game. You know, like a lot of these guys like to go to crap games or card games or whatever. You find out where the game is, and generally your game is always in an out-of-the-way place. Invariably it is. And you got him.
Out of your experience, what are your preferred places for killing people?
My preferred places?
Yeah.
Catching them coming out of the girl's place.
On the street?
Right on the street. Because generally it's 2, 3 in the morning. And I use a silencer, nobody's going to hear nothing. If I don't use a silencer, they're going to think it's a backfire anyway. How many people do you know are going to get out of a sound sleep?
What do you use to kill?
38 as a rule. Or sometimes a 32 automatic.
Where do you get the gun?
Oh, that's easy. I can get you all the guns you want within 5 minutes of where we are.
And after the killing, you dispose of the gun?
Oh, yeah. Because without the gun, they got no weapon. Without no weapon, they got no charge.
A murder charge can't stand if they can't find the murder weapon.
That is correct.
Is that it? And where have you killed people? In front of the girl's apartment? Gas stations, I guess.
Gas stations, swampland, small town, big cities.
Restaurants?
Restaurants, warehouses.
The movies show us The Godfather, for example. A person walking into a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
A mob man and killing another. What about the crowd? What about identification?
Well,
what about witnesses?
that's about the only accurate thing that I can remember about in the picture, because nobody can give you a description. It's almost impossible. Because when people hear that loud noise, they hit the floor, and they hit it quick. And they're not going to look up to become heroes to see what you look like. They're only hoping that no bullets come their direction. And as I described, with one place where I hit a guy, there were, I think, 14 different people in there. Not one of them come up with the same description of me.
You disguise yourself in any way?
No, just walk in, do the job, turn around, walk out.
You wear a hat, overcoat?
No, what for? That makes you conspicuous. When you walk, I walk in a joint. I look like another guy walking in a joint. The guy I'm coming for, he doesn't know I'm there until I'm right on top of him.
Are there don'ts in killing people?
Yeah. You do not kill them in houses of worship. You do not kill them in their home in front of their families. And you do not torture a man.
Do you rob them?
Nope, you do not rob them.
Do you torture them?
Nope.
At all? You just do it as quickly?
Just do your job and get out of there. You're not there to play games. You're not there to decide why he should die. Somebody already decided he's going to die. He ain't even got a chance to cross himself before you pull the trigger.
What about the pleas of men who are dying? What about their begging and their praying?
I don't give them enough time to even get the word please out. If they see me, it's all over by the time they see me. If they don't see me because I come up behind them, they never had a chance anyway.
The act of killing is so, it's so savage, it's so unhuman.
Oh, is it?
How? Yes, it is.
What's unhuman about it?
Because we've been taught that life is sacred, to respect life, to preserve life.
We've been taught to be honest, too.
No, but hold on the subject of killing,
All right.
okay? We'll get to honesty later. From the time you were little, even in the foster homes, I would imagine, you had some kind of training about God, about mankind, about being your brother's keeper, about not shedding blood, about helping somebody in trouble.
Well, the way I was raised, pal, you did nothing but shed blood.
You never believed in God?
Nope.
Nobody ever did a kind act for you that made you think there is something good about the human life?
My brother's the only person that I can think of who really did. I mean, people have done things for me, but my brother did something for me once I never forgot. And that's why today he's not only my brother, he's also my very close friend. We were kids, and we got some meat, which we didn't get too often. And I went through mine like the wind, and I was hungry. And my brother saw it, he took the food off his plate, he put it on mine, he says, "Here, kid, you eat it." And I never forgot that. My brother can have anything I got anytime he wants it. And if there's anybody in this world my brother don't like, he just tells me. He never has, but all he has to do is tell me. And if there's anything he wants done, all he has to do is tell me. It'll be done.
Killing has never made you sick?
No?
It's never made you wonder about your sanity? Do you think you're sane?
Yeah.
No, Joey, have you ever wondered about it?
No. I've had a psychiatrist once studied me during a murder trial, and he told me I was the coldest person he'd ever met.
Do you take pride in that?
I don't know if it's pride or whatever it is.
You like that?
Yeah, in my business, I like it. It makes me different than other people. I am different than other people, just like you're different than other people. And you like it.
Yes, but I'm trying for a distinction for myself within the human race, not out of it.
Well, let's put it this way. As far as distinction, I am within an organization of the human race created by people of your human race. I just happened to go into this business. That was all. If this business hadn't been available, I'd have gone into something else.
But Joe, sometime in the night, sometime in sickness, when you've been under the weather, have you ever thought to yourself about a life of killing and about maybe something missing in you, maybe your soul, maybe your mind, maybe your... Do you think you have any ethics at all?
I have a lot of ethics. My word is my bond. That's number one. I'm more honorable than anybody you've ever run across in your life. That's my ethics. If I say something will be done, it'll be done. If I make a promise, I will keep it. If I tell you I will be at a certain place, I will be there. I will not break my word to you.
Let's come back to killing.
Okay.
You've never, ever had a moment's conscience about it, or a
No.
moment's...
It's a job, that's it. Just like you're sitting there doing your job. It's a job. That's what I'm paid for.
But when you do your job, that person that you do the job on will never love anybody, never laugh, never live a moment longer.
That's right.
You're doing unhuman things. You're doing things that animals, not many animals kill each other, their own kind. You know?
Okay, I'm doing what I'm paid to do.
Couldn't you be paid interesting monies doing something else?
Like what? Push-ups?
You have Shylocked. You've loaned money at
Right.
usury rates. You have
Shylock
stolen...
and loaning money is the same thing.
Right. You've hijacked cigarettes.
Right. No, I didn't hijack the cigarettes. I bought them and bootlegged them. I've transported narcotics and diamonds. I've been a bookmaker. I've done all these things.
So you could make a living...
But the basis of what everything I have done has been the fact because I am a hitman. That is why I get these positions a lot quicker than a lot of other people do.
But it isn't money. Then you must get a rather savage
It is money.
excitement.
That's what I'm in business for.
No, but there was a lot of money in your Shylocking. There was a lot
Sure.
of money in your
And I go through it like the wind.
holding up trucks with cigarettes.
I didn't hold those
Well,
trucks with cigarettes.
what do you call it? When
Bootleg.
Bootleg.
I want to thank the city and the state of New York for helping me make all that money. Because if they didn't raise the taxes then I couldn't bootleg the cigarettes in. And I want to thank people like you who bought them.
If you could stop killing and make the money you make from killing, would you stop it? Or is it now something you really
Probably.
enjoy? You'd
If I was
stop.
making enough money, yeah, why not? I'm getting tired. I'm no kid no more.
No, you're not a kid anymore. We'll be back in a minute. Joe, it's inconceivable to me that in all the years, from 16 when you killed your first man to this moment, you haven't had a moment of doubt or a moment of maybe self-hate or a moment of being appalled with yourself or something at what you do, at killing. Ever, when you fell in love?
No, when I married my wife, I seriously, and Jack was dead then.
Your first wife?
Yeah, and I seriously thought about, getting out of the business or doing something.
Did she know what you did?
Yeah, she knows, she knows I was a bum. And,
She know you were a killer?
well, she didn't know. I didn't go that far with her. You don't tell them, you don't go out there and discuss, how you blew a guy away.
But
I just told her I was doing things, that was all. And like I said, she dug me for me, and that was the end of that. And, like I said, she was the first person that I'd ever met in my life. That wasn't outside my brother or anything, who just gave me things because they wanted to. I didn't have to take it. And she liked me for me. It was me, I had, and I didn't have to, and with her, it was all beautiful. I guess maybe sometimes in your life you get these things, I don't know. And when she died, I died. And after that, I don't care who I hit. I don't care if I live or I die, even today. And I got a good woman around me now.
do you believe in anything at all?
I believe in me.
Money.
Oh, besides money, I believe in me. I believe I can do anything.
When you're out on a hit and it goes wrong, you say it never has. If you were caught and tried,
I've been arrested and tried.
you have been,
Oh yeah, 3 times.
for murder.
That's correct.
What happened?
I was acquitted.
3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Why? No witnesses.
That was one of the reasons. Another reason that the state couldn't put up a good enough case.
Did they ever find the weapon?
No. And one time a witness got up and recanted his testimony.
Because pressure had been put on.
I don't know.
You wouldn't be surprised.
Nothing surprises me.
If you hadn't been lucky enough to be,
I'd be in a
innocent.
can. Or I'd be
what would happen with your contract if you bungled the job? No, not bungled. You killed the man.
Mhm.
But you were caught.
That's correct.
You were tried, and you were sentenced to
the
prison.
party who I took the job from would be responsible for my attorney fees, would be responsible if I have a family to take care of my family while I'm in prison.
What would that entail? You go to prison, what would they be liable for?
Oh,
to
you
your
figure
wife?
about maybe 150 a week. You know, to pay the bills.
Is that part of the contract?
Oh, yeah. That's
Along
always-
with the 20,000?
Oh, yeah. That's the unwritten law of the business. If a man goes to prison who you're doing a job for, or who does a job for you, you have to take care of him, take care of his people.
It's the unwritten law. Do you spell it out as you sit talking to him?
Don't have to spell it out.
Suppose he fails to take care of your family.
Then I have no obligation to him.
You could talk.
That would be my prerogative, yes. If I was a man, I wouldn't. I'd wait until I got out and then break his head. See, like some guys, they feel that they've been crossed, so right away they start screaming bloody murder. But all you gotta do is send these people a message. Hey, you want my silence? Come up with the money. You'd be surprised how quick they come up with it.
So the deal is the 20,000 to kill the man.
Right.
If anything goes wrong, all your costs, plus taking care of your wife for as long as you're in prison.
That is correct.
And that buys your silence.
That is correct.
If you talked in prison and he was sending the money to your wife, what would happen to you
I'd be killed in prison.
in prison?
Sure.
Is that easy to do?
So easy, it's not even funny.
All right. It's a hard
Do
subject.
you have any idea how easy it is to take a spoon and sharpen it and ram it through a guy's neck? Or catch a guy out in the back of the yard and wrap him with a pipe? Or throw him off a tier?
No, I have no idea.
That's it.
When one reads about murders in prison, that's probably behind it in some way.
Good chance of it. Unless it's a personal beef.
Now, when you were caught, how were you caught? Did somebody identify you?
Well, one time they come and they got me, and they said that they had a warrant for my arrest for murder. And I said, fine, let's go. I went in. I
Now,
had a
did
hearing.
you call up the people you...
No, I waited till I
working
got down. No, I called a lawyer. He came down to see me, and I told him who to go see to go get the money. And he went up. He come down at the arraignment. Naturally, they hold you no bail, but they give you time to talk to him in the bullpen. So I go. I told him, I says, you go see so and so, and he'll take care of whatever you gotta have, and whatever his fee is, they gotta pay it. And then after that,
In a situation like this...
You never lie to
what
your
is
lawyer.
the-
You tell me the
What is
truth.
the fee, Joe?
could be, I don't know, one guy got 15,000 for defending me, another guy, it was 17 and change, another guy got 25,000. And I don't care what he gets, but see, one thing you learn, you never lie to your lawyer. Like one guy, like I had a lawyer one time, he says to me, he says, well, he says, did you do it? I says, yeah. He says, well, I'll cop you out. I says, take a walk. I don't need. I can walk in there and do the same thing myself. I want a guy that's going to walk me out the door. So I got another lawyer. He says, you do it. I says, yeah. He says, okay. He says, you're innocent.
You gave him the man's name who hired you.
Right. No, I didn't give him the man's name who hired me. I gave him another party. I gave him the party who originally contacted me.
Right. It's his
And
responsibility.
He goes to him, and then he contacts the party who hires me. You never reveal who the individual is who hired you.
Right.
And he contacts him, and he gets the money. Whatever he wants, he gets. And from that day on, because I'm held in no bail, my wife gets money every week. She may get 150, 200, whatever.
You were held in the tombs once for a year.
10 months.
Right. You kept postponing the trial?
My lawyer kept postponing it.
Why?
I don't know, he wanted to work out certain legal maneuvers. Until finally we were ready. When we went in, then the state said, well, they weren't ready because they couldn't find their witnesses. My lawyer made a motion, says, well, my client's been sitting here for 10 months. He says, we're ready to go to trial. He says, you're incarcerating this man. He says, you're depriving him of his liberty. We're ready to go to trial. So the judge gave I think it was 48 hours to go find the witnesses. 48 hours, we came back. This was on a Monday. We came back in on Wednesday. He says, no, out the door.
Were the witness still alive?
Gee, I don't know. I never saw them.
All right, that's one trial. No witnesses. What happened the second trial?
Second trial went before, I was indicted on the testimony of two individuals who went before a grand jury and said that they saw me blow a guy away down a full fish market.
Did you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
And then they give the testimony before the grand jury, and I was indicted And we went to trial. One guy couldn't remember nothing, and the other guy said, no, he was a complete mistake, it wasn't me. So that case went out the window.
Both of those witnesses surprised you.
No, I figured they'd tell the truth.
Right. Third case.
Third case, party who who was known that I had no love for was found floating. And I was seen in the area by 3 people. And the state had what they call a hope for case. They were hoping for a conviction, but they didn't get it because none of the 3 could actually say that they saw me do anything wrong. They only know that they saw me in the area.
Do you always use a 38? Do you always?
I either use a 38 or I use a 32.
What about bodies floating in the river? What about garroted bodies?
No, I don't have nothing to do with them things. No, I don't play that game. I told you that.
Others play that game.
Well,
Others in your line of work?
Yeah, well, you get some people, they're a little more vicious, so, you know, they like to, you know, do things that they shouldn't do. To me, you're supposed to hit a guy, hit him, and forget about him.
And the best way to do that is with a 38. At what range?
Between 3 and 4 feet.
About
The distance you and I are right now.
Right. That's the preferred distance.
Yeah. See, right here, from where I am now, there ain't no way in the world I can miss any of your vital spots.
Do you have a preferred spot?
Yeah, the back of the head. But if I'm looking at you, the front of the head.
That's a good cue for a commercial if I ever heard one, Joe. We'll be right back. I gather from what you say, Joe, that you only work for the mob.
Yeah, we won't work for an outsider. Because an outsider can't stand up.
What do you mean by stand up?
Well, you take an individual like yourself. You want somebody hit in the head, right? You go out and you hire somebody.
Could I hire you?
No.
Why?
Because you're an outsider. I can't work for you.
Is it
I can't
against
trust
the
you.
rules of your organization?
Yeah, basically, it's against the rules because we ain't supposed to work for you. That's number one. Number two, the cops start asking you questions. They'll turn you every way but loose. You cannot stand up. You will not take the pressure. You'll go. And I'm in a jackpot. People I work for, they can ask them all kinds of questions. They look around like the sun is shining.
You don't work for civilians because they would squeal.
Yeah, they would talk. Not that they would squeal. They just have no way that they could stand up. The pressure's too tough on them.
I see. So that when...
Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. There's a guy doing time in the can now. You may have remembered the story. The guy blew his bookmaker away because he couldn't pay him. Right? And the guy was one of my customers also. And he come to me, and he says to me, he says, he wants a hit done. And I kind of like the guy. I says, well, all right. He says, how much? I says, $20,000. He wanted the cardiac arrest. He says, what are you, $20,000? He says, I owe this guy $20,000. Hey, look, I says, you go do the job yourself, or you go find an amateur, and I'll send you cigarettes. And sure enough, he got himself a hooker, he got himself a bum, and another guy, and they went out and they hit this guy. Now he's doing 20 years in a can. He had a 2-ton state's evidence on him, and the guy comes from a nice family and a whole bit. That's what happens when you play around with amateurs.
Okay. You can't be hired by a man, let's say, jealous of a woman and anxious to...
No. I don't want no part of him. He's not in my world.
You've never done that?
No.
Have you ever been on a hit list? Anybody tried to kill you?
Well, there've been a couple of attempts. I got 3 nice holes in my stomach, and my neck was busted. That was an attempt to kill me.
How did you get out alive?
How did I get out alive?
I mean, why weren't you killed? Weren't they professionals?
They were professionals. They just couldn't shoot good. I got 3 holes in my stomach that could have been too bad.
What were
But I
you,
killed 2 of the 3 guys
what were you wanted for? Why did they want to kill you?
because I wouldn't let them hit the guy I was working for.
It's customary, I remember in your book, the best way to get at...
A boss is to get through to his bodyguard.
Through his bodyguard.
That's
Why
correct.
is that?
Well, let's put it this way. If assuming I'm your bodyguard and I go where you go, there's a good chance my hand is always going to be on a cannon or within very close range of it. So if anybody makes a move at you, I'm going to be there to protect you. Now, if they make a move at you and they sort of, and I'm looking the other way, makes life kind of easy, don't it?
When we read of a gangster being killed, as we did recently in New York, Gallo was killed.
Mm-hmm.
could one presume that his friends weren't...
I assume somebody, when he left the Copa, made a phone call. Matter of fact, I would bet an awful lot of money on it. I do not believe the story that was laid down by this particular party.
When you're asked to kill a head of an organization, have you been asked to do that?
Just on Joey. I've never had anybody that was that big. I generally get guys that make mistakes.
That's somebody within the organization further down.
That is correct.
Have you ever found yourself saying, I know him, he's a friend?
Yeah, with Joey.
They wanted Joey Gallo killed.
Yeah. I
And
wouldn't
they came
do it.
to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
What kind of a guy was he?
To me, he was a good guy. I liked him.
Why was he crazy, Joey?
Well, that's because when he got nailed on a burglary one time, he copped the plea that he was a nut. So he got himself sent to a nut house for a while. That's why they called him Crazy Joe. He was no crazier than you are. He had a lot of smarts up there.
But he loved violence. He was very sadistic.
No, he didn't. I mean, he would do a job on a guy, like he kept a lion around, you know.
A lion?
Yeah, when you didn't pay him the money, he used to send you down to say hello to the lion. Had a lion down in the basement on President Street.
Now, wait a minute, Joe. Say that. There was a live lion
A live lion.
in the basement of his house.
Yeah, you think I'm kidding you? That's Jimmy Bresnan.
And if you were slow in paying him what you owed?
He would open up the door and the lion would, let out a little roar. You got the message that you weren't, the latter, you're going to become part of his dinner. Well, Vinny Teresa used to have a piranha up in Boston. You didn't pay him, he used to stick your hand right in the water. The piranha used to nibble away at your fingers for a few seconds.
In your book, you describe the late, lamented Gallo, Joey Gallo, beating up on a guy and hitting him until his eye fell out, and other such.
I didn't describe Joey doing it. I described the man doing it. It wasn't Joey.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was.
No. I described an incident where I went with a guy to do the job, and this guy did the job. And then he put his arm around me. He says, let's go have some Chinese food. There was no way I was going to say no to him.
You've worked your way through the ranks. I mean, you didn't start as a hitman. You started as a runner.
I started as a numbers runner.
Right.
And then from a numbers runner, I became a controller.
Now, your basic job within the mob is hitting,
My basic job within the mob is earning.
earning. Now,
Hitting is more or less the sideline. But hitting gives me the respect to get the better jobs of earning.
All right. Now, what else are you doing currently?
Currently,
Yeah.
Shylocking.
How much have you got on the street now?
At this particular moment, it's somebody else's money, this is,
Yes.
I got about $7 million on the street right now.
On which you're getting what kind of interest?
Well, we're getting, roughly, it comes out to 6.5 to 5.
6.5 to 5.
So that comes out to about, you figure, 120% a year.
And you always get your money back.
So far, haven't had any laydowns.
And that money isn't your money.
No,
That's the mob money.
that's right. But I'm partners on the interest.
Right. Now, how does that work? You know people that need money.
Right.
And customer 1, 2, 3,
right.
5.
And I go to the guy who's got the money. I say, I got 7 customers. This is what I need. And this is how they're going to pay us back. He gives me the money. I go and I put it out. And every week I pick up the money. I go meet him and I make back the payments.
Now, does he ever flinch at giving you $7 million?
He don't flinch at all. He has got money he hasn't counted yet. He could fill this place up with $100 bills and still need room for more.
Do we know this man?
Yeah, you know him, but I won't mention him.
His name's in the paper a lot.
Fairly often.
Right. He gives you $7 million. You loan it
Now, he don't give me $7 million all in one time. He gives it to me as I need it.
in bunches.
Yeah. He may give me 3, 4, 500,000.
And you must get that money back to him on an agreed schedule.
Yeah. If there's any laydowns, he wants to know why. If I have any problems, I tell him. And if, generally, but I don't have any problems. I handle my own.
Right. And you split the interest that
That's
you
right.
get. 50-50.
Right.
Right. Now, somebody is late in making a payment. What is your technique?
Well, I go over and I see him. I want to know what the problem is. He either gives me a VIG,
A big is what?
interest.
Interest. Right.
See? Or, if he's, well, I got to know why he ain't paying me. I mean, if, like, say his wife got sick or something like that, hey, I can understand this. I say, okay, when you straighten out, you see me. But if a guy's out not to beat me, I'm going to smack him in the head with a bat.
Right. He gives you an excuse that you can buy,
Right.
and you give him some time.
Yeah, give him all the time he needs, then.
And it's strictly up to you how much
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, like, you get a guy, and like I said, and the guy is up against the wall. I mean, he's got a lot of bills all of a sudden that, like his old lady might got sick, or one of the kids got sick, his medical coverage don't cover. These things happen. We understand these things. I mean, we got the same problems. So the guy says, what can I do? He said, what do you want? You don't want the guy going out and holding out people. You say, okay, you straighten out. When you get back on your feet, your choice. We'll straighten out with you. And, you just stop it right there. You don't tack on no vig or nothing. You just keep the lawn as is. When you get a guy that's out and out to beat you, then you go after him. You get a guy who'll take 1,000 here, 1,000 there, 1,000 everywhere he can find it, and then he's gone. Then when you catch up to him, then you do a number on his melon.
On his
Yeah, I said.
Right. And you do that with a piece of lead pipe, I think.
Sometimes with a pipe wrapped in a newspaper. That's called a schlammer. Sometimes I use a bat.
Schlammer?
Schlammen.
Schlammen.
Schlammen, yeah.
It's a pipe.
Yeah, it's a pipe wrapped in a newspaper. Originally, that started with out of Brooklyn, and with the old Murder Incorporated outfit. They used to do that. That was their bit.
And I think you have successive degrees of persuasion.
Oh yeah. Well, generally you show up, with a guy, and you pull out a cannon, and then you open up the chamber, you look, make sure it's loaded, then you put the chamber back, you put the revolver, close it up, stick it back in your pocket. Say, listen, I want to talk to you. You don't have to go any further.
In what contingency, in what situation would you kill
Oh, I
a
wouldn't
man?
kill a customer.
You would not.
No, he can't pay me. What good is he me dead?
So you slam him.
So I hurt him a little.
You hurt him a little. Then he doesn't pay you.
I hurt him some more.
There's a point of hurting where he pays.
You got the message.
It's time for another message. We'll be right back. Joey, do the police know you?
Oh, yeah.
Do they know you're a killer?
Oh, yeah. No question. You don't underestimate the police. I mean, they got their people, they got their informants. They know what you're doing. You're bookmaking, they know it. You're a hitman, they know it. They know who you are.
Do you pay off the police?
When I'm bookmaking, sure. When I got a numbers thing going, I gotta pay. I can't operate unless I pay them off.
How does the payoff work?
Well, it depends on what kind of an operation you got. If you're bookmaking and you got phones, you pay so much per phone. If you got a
Who do
number,
you pay? Cop on the beat?
No. You pay you pay somebody that's in division, or you pay somebody that's in the borough. Generally, or most times it goes right into the commissioner's office, and then you pay so much per phone. If you have men on the street on a numbers thing, you pay so much per man.
How many phones have you had working?
Well, biggest office I was ever in, we had 6 phones.
And what were you paying per phone?
$2,000 a month per phone.
$2,000 a month per phone.
Right.
$12,000 a month.
That's correct.
In cash.
CASH.
Delivered to the headquarters?
No. Guy comes around, That's why that's where the word bag man comes from, because he carries his little black bag.
And
I give him an
therefore,
envelope, he sticks in his pocket.
if a raid is coming, are you called ahead of
Oh
time?
yeah, we're called and told. Or if they pick up one of our men, they let us know.
Right, so the police know all about you.
Oh sure.
And they would know all about the 38 murders?
Well,
Take the three.
They're pretty sure of the ones that I've done. They just can't prove it.
Have you been called in on all the ones you've
I've
done?
been called in on 17 of them. Besides the 3 I was acquitted of.
Did they seem anxious to solve the murder?
Not really that anxious. So we went, they harass you or hassle you for maybe about an hour or two. I say, look, you got something on me, book me. If not, out.
Is there a payoff to get out of it?
No way.
No.
You just pick up and walk. And I said, you got something? I said, I call my lawyer.
Joe, why are you doing this television show?
Well, I wrote a book. And I want to publicize the book.
Isn't your life in jeopardy? No.
Sure it is.
If they knew
who I am, I'm dead. But unlike a lot of guys, I'm not a stool pigeon. I didn't get up before any committees, and I didn't name any names. I didn't put anybody in a joint.
Well, then why would you run the risk of getting killed to publicize
Because I
a book?
think it's time that the public found out that they and They can't outlaw what people want. I don't care how you try it. You can't do it. Everything I have done has stemmed from the fact that it was outlawed to begin with by people. Why do you think there are so many people in this business? Because of the money that's there. And this could all be legitimized.
Gambling, you're talking about.
Gambling, prostitution, even narcotics. Let's take the hard thing, narcotics, which repulses everybody. Who makes an addict? He makes himself. So now you got an addict, all right? Now that the guy is illegal because he's illegal if he sells it, he's illegal if he uses it, he's illegal if he possesses it. To take this guy's got to go out and steal in order to get the money to go have it. Now, if you legalize narcotics, he goes to a hospital, he gets a shot, this guy goes to work, you don't have to steal. That's number one.
You've run narcotics in from Mexico.
I've run them in from Mexico, yeah.
How'd you do that?
I used to tape them to the rim of a wheel, inside the wheel, and put the tire back over it. I used to bring in 8 kilos at a time.
Did they ever take the wheels off the car?
No, I had the car searched. They pulled the wheel off the car, but they never took the tire off the wheel.
Okay.
That was the closest I ever come.
Did you have to...
Then after that, I had carte blanche. I used to drive back and forth like I owned the place.
You made a lot of money doing that.
I made a hell of a lot of money doing that.
Why did you quit?
Why did I quit? Because the man I was working for died.
Why didn't you go into the narcotic business with somebody else?
I wasn't that interested in.
Well, you're making big money from it.
Yeah, but I was doing all right. I had no complaints. See, I'm funny. Like like a guy I was working for. Man, he's dead now. Dragna. He was good to me. I worked for him. He was good to me, and he had things going. Everything was fine. When he died, it was a big scramble for who wanted who, this, that, and everything, and nobody knew which way it was up. You know, they're all playing a game, you know, about what their end was going to be and what your end was going to be. And the way they work it is they threw the money in the air. Whatever stuck to the ceiling was yours. I didn't need these guys.
When Dragna died, what did you do?
I moved around a while. I had some money, and I had some, you know, I wasn't really that interested. Then I did a few odds and ends, and then I had a couple of contracts that I took care of.
Hijacking?
Huh? No, I wasn't hijacking. And I had a couple of hit contracts that I did. In the interim.
Hit contract is $20,000 a year.
20,000 a shot.
20,000 a shot, and you've done 35 shots.
That's correct.
Professionally.
Well, roughly. I mean, it wasn't always 20,000. It went up. You know, as time went by.
Go up depending on how important the man is.
No, it went up depending on what the price was. You know, like it started out like for a long time, the price was 10 grand. Then the price, one day I turned around and the price had doubled.
You do hits today?
If the price is right, yeah.
And what else? Skyjack?
No, not skyjacking.
Not skyjacking.
That's not my line, pal.
Hijacking.
Hijacking. Yeah, well, I've hijacked some trucks that had merchandise I could dispose of very quickly.
And you're into pornographic
Pornography,
materials.
yeah.
You selling movies?
Yeah, we
Dirty
make them ourselves.
pictures?
Yeah, there's a market for them. Remember one thing, my friend, and without you, there's no me. And by you, I don't mean you per se. I mean you, the public. Because if the public didn't want it, we couldn't sell it. The public didn't want to make a bet, we couldn't book it. The public didn't want narcotics, we couldn't sell it. The public didn't want to borrow money, we couldn't lend it.
And also you couldn't do any of this without the active cooperation of the police.
Correct, and politicians. What I am saying is this. A lot of the things that we are into can be legalized. And the money derived from this could all but eliminate all your sales taxes. And not only that, but you could build your schools and your hospitals and your roads, and you can have enough money left over to take care of all the people that are on welfare. You have any idea of the kind of money I'm talking about? You have any idea what's bet in this city alone every year?
How much?
$20 billion a year is bet in this city. Now you got to figure we keep at least 15% of that.
How do you know these figures, Joe?
Hey, I've had offices. I've been in offices. I show you guys. They think nothing of betting $5,000, $10,000 on a ball game, $1,000 across on a horse, and they got the money. All right, I can break it down from your $2 better to your $10,000 better. This city is full of them, and every city is full of them. Remember one thing about a gambler. He will go anywhere to have his game. You can't write laws against it. They've done it. What has it proved?
Do you gamble?
Sure I do. I'm a bigger gambler than anybody. I blow most of my money gambling, but I enjoy gambling.
Do you take drugs?
No, never taken a drug in my life.
Do you have any other bad habit besides gambling and killing?
Broads?
Broads, you like? You say in your book that women find you irresistible.
No, I didn't say they find me
They
irresistible.
find you sexually very attractive.
They find the fact of what I do attractive.
Do you tell them what you do?
No, well, I'll give you an example. At a party one time, after I had been acquitted, I was introduced to this girl who incidentally come from one of your better families, right? She couldn't wait to jump into bed with me.
Because you were a killer.
That's correct.
And that's somehow alluring.
Yeah, to her.
Was she just a stunning exception? Or
No.
have a lot of women?
When broads find out that you deal in violence, and controlled violence, as I call it, the fact that they know that you've taken a life, or they know that you do this, or you have no compunctions about it, it has a strange fascination for them. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know.
How long does the fascination last?
I don't know. Until I've been with you 2 or 3 times, and all of a sudden they look up and they say, "Where the hell am I?"
Okay, now you're on this show, and you run a serious danger with your life.
Well, I'm hoping that with a little luck, I won't get unlucky.
Why is it worth the candle just to sell some copies of your book?
No, it's not that. To me, it's what I want to do is I think it's time that we came out of the closet. I think it's time that I'm sick and tired of seeing headlines of the mob this, the mob that, because everything we do can be legitimized, and I think it's time that it was.
Well, why? If it were legitimized, you'd be out of business.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't really be out of business. I could always find something in the industry to do because it would be legitimate. But you can't let the politicians have it. I think it's time that the public got the benefit out of it. The public is the biggest suckers that ever lived. They're robbed every day, up one side and down the other, by the legitimate man, by us. And then we give them a better break.
You're very well organized.
Extremely. Remember one thing, we don't have any union problems. We don't have to worry about retirement dues, pensions,
No strikes.
no strikes. We're more efficient than any organization you can think of.
You think you're better organized than General Motors?
Hell yes.
The federal government?
Right. We don't have no waste. We don't type things up in triplicate.
You've scored one there. I'll be right back in 1 minute.